Smashley. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. And if it's your first time, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. As you may or may not know, we're in the midst of decorating for Christmas this week, and I came up with this idea a little bit on a whim. If you guys saw any of the October content or Halloween content or videos that I put out, I did this like floating witch hat in the entry hallway of where you enter our home, and I had this idea to do the same thing but up the ante for Christmas. And as the title gave away, I want to do these giant floating ornaments at the front of the house. So that's why you see these bowls up in front of me. I'm also going to be making, in addition to that, these DIY faux trees and also some faux snow, all with materials that I mostly got from the Dollar Tree. Now, if you guys saw the last Christmas video that we put out, I made DIY ornaments. I will, of course, link it for you guys above. The idea for this one is to kind of take the same style and design of ornaments, but make them on just a larger scale. So the bowls that I have in front of me, again, these are just the regular plastic bowls from Dollar Tree. You can find this in like the little party section. I use this for chips at parties or whatever. But I loved the shape of them, so the idea will be to stack them and make our ornaments that way. Bear with me, they don't look that cute yet, but they will. So I picked up 8 of those bowls, and you're gonna need about 2 of them per ornament. And then from there, seriously guys, all you have to do is just figure out what design you wanna make. If you wanna stick with just spray painting them, totally on you. I have a couple that I spray painted matte black to match the matte black ornaments that we have on the tree. I have one clear and then one that we did that glitter spray paint. So what I'm gonna do to show you guys is gonna go one by one in terms of fully assembling the ornaments so you guys can kind of see start to finish and how I designed them, but we can go ahead and get started. For design on this one, I'm gonna keep it plain matte black, but I did pick up some ribbon. We're gonna be doing that later. The very first thing that you wanna do is just grab a drill. I have a small drill bit on it, and you wanna find, this is gonna be the top of the ornament, by the way. You want to find that center right there. We're going to drill a hole straight through that. Okay. There's our little hole that we made. And the reason that we're going to do that is we're going to put the fish string through the top, and I'm going to have it with a paper clip on the inside to kind of stop it. And that's how the ornament is going to end up being suspended. All right, so we have paper clip and our string. We're just gonna go ahead and tie some just so you guys can see. I'm gonna stick the string straight through and just make a couple knots. Don't worry about this being super tight or perfect because we're gonna hot glue this on the inside when we're done. So on the other end, you wanna grab and just pull your fish string through that hole we made. But don't be like me and tangle your fish string. You want to pull all the way through until you get your paper clip up at the top. You guys see that? It should really be lying flat like that at the top. And I have my hot glue gun already warmed up. So I'm going to be pulling the string on one end while I'm holding the bowl, so I have the string here. And that's just going to be to create some tension to make sure it's as close and tight to the top of this ornament as possible. And I'm just going to hit it with some of the hot glue. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and just set this aside to dry. Now for the tops of the ornaments, I went ahead and just picked up these little plastic planter liners from the Home Depot. These were 4 inches in diameter and they were literally 25 cents, so I did get 4 for $1. And I went ahead, I spray painted the inside white just so that we could kind of have a base for the clear. The spray paint didn't stick too well to this, but after using the white as a primer and then the silver spray paint on top, I kind of got what I was looking for. So my idea is to put them on top like that, so it serves as the top of the ornament. I just improv'd a little bit. I don't know that I recommend that you try this at home, but I just warmed up the tip of a nail and was able to kind of melt my way through, and I made our little hole right here at the top. So the next part, we're going to feed our fish string through that hole also. See it there? Perfect. There we go. All right, and we want to do that first because we're actually going to be hot gluing this to the top of the ornament. I would recommend, or what I'm going to try is, I'm just going to glue around the rim and set it down as much in the middle as I can get it. I would pull on your string first just so you don't get it in any of the glue. We're getting there. All right, and I'm just pushing down on like the little sides. It doesn't matter if you get like, I got a little bit of spillage at the top. This is gonna be literally suspended in the air, so I really just want it to kind of like look good mostly from far away. It doesn't have to be the cleanest up front. The next step from here, we're done with the drill for right now. I'm not adding anything else to this except for some ribbon. So this is the bottom of the ornament. And I think I'm gonna pretty much do the same thing. Just glue around the rim and then try my best to line it up with this. Use your glue very sparingly during this part, just in case there's any spillage, and I'm kind of going to be doing it more so towards like the inside of the rim of the bowl. Make sure you know where your fish string is at all times because you don't want to get that trapped on the inside. So from here, I just left one spot without any glue so that I can hold it. I'm going to use my hands on the outside to line it up before we push down. I'm just going to spot glue that spot that I left open. And then I think I'm going to just follow the rim with some glue. I just want to make sure it stays together securely. And again, I don't really care about the spillage for here because we're going to be putting ribbon over this, so it's going to be completely hidden. That's going to sit and dry for a second. What I want to do next is start to measure out how much ribbon I'm going to need. I bought this before I really knew what I was doing for Christmas decorations, but it's so pretty. So that's going to be the perfect piece to kind of hide that middle section. You see what we're doing here, guys. Now from here, so it's overlapping just a little bit here in the front. We're gonna end up hot gluing this down as well, just to make sure that stays in place before layering another ribbon. And then again, don't worry about this piece. We're gonna make a bow and glue that down so you won't even see it. All right, I decided just to glue on the top. It kind of didn't stick to the bowls as much as I wanted to, or as flat as I wanted it to, but that's totally fine. I'm gonna leave the bottoms exposed just because when people walk in, they'll be looking up and I don't want to be able to see any glue from underneath. I want to just make a bow. So I just have the ribbon here. I'm gonna make one little loop. I'm gonna show you guys how I cheat. And then from here, make another little loop about that same size. So here's how we're looking. I'm just gonna cut this. And then I'm gonna grab one tiny little piece. Because, so holding it like this, you're just gonna twist that back one so that everything is velvet on the front. And the cool thing about this ribbon is it has like little wire on the side. So we're just gonna take that little piece that I cut, pinch it over the middle. So there we go. We got our little bow. Before I put it on, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the little bottom of the bow on an angle. And we're just gonna put some glue, some of that hot glue right back here. And we're gonna glue it where the seams meet on our ribbon right here at the front. So it looks something like that. I hate the little strings from hot glue with a passion. And here is ornament number 1. I love it. She's so cute. Ornament number 2 is gonna be very reminiscent of the ornament that I left clear. I added some of that like faux snow and then just a piece of garland on the inside. For this one, we're gonna use the same faux snow. I have some little birch trees, or oh, I can't even speak. I have birch ribbon, but then I have bottle brush trees that are sprinkled with snow. So these are hopefully going to sit inside. I also have some spray adhesive. because my idea is for the lid of this one, for the top of this one, I want to kind of have some like frostiness to it, and I think I can get the fake snow to stick to the bowl with this spray adhesive. So let's try it. I'm gonna do the top first. Okay, spray adhesive in. And I'm just gonna sprinkle some snow. Okay. And I'm gonna shake it off into the bottom of the bowl because I'm gonna put snow in here anyway. Here's how she's looking. Almost exactly how I wanted. Okay, I think I'm gonna do a little bit more. Let's pour some of this right back up on there. I love this snow too because it has that both that white and that iridescent little material in there. So if the light hits it just right, it'll have that really pretty shine. I'm gonna let this dry, and while that does, we'll work at the bottom. I ended up deciding on just one of the trees. I think I just wanna center it. So I'm gonna grab my handy dandy glue gun. I'm gonna hit it with some of this glue and press it into the bottom. Okay, and from here, really, we're just gonna fill it with some more of the snow. Or what do they call this? Buffalo snow flurries. Interesting. Been to Buffalo and this is not what it looks like. Now let's see how we're looking. What do we think? Ended up leaving this spot clear. I think I'm just gonna frost it. That's better. Now it looks like it's kind of snowing. So cute. All right, I already went ahead and drilled the hole on this one. So I went ahead and just added our paper clip in the middle so you guys can kind of see I'm encapsulating the paper clip because I'm terrified of these falling and crumbling everywhere. So the next piece, we want to go ahead and add our topper. I did go ahead and just add the hole. Okay, time to close her up. For this one, I'm just gonna create like a little buckle almost in the front to kind of hide the seam. I don't want to do a big bow to take away from the tree that's in the center, so do this instead. On to ornament number 3, and yes, I have almost fully assembled her. You guys know the process by this point of attaching the top part, the fish string with the paper clip, and then gluing them together. For this one, the inspo was that bonus ornament that I did in the last video where we just spray painted the clear ornament with some glitter spray paint, and then I actually used a bunch of twine on that one to kind of make these random abstract pattern with the twine. So I ended up getting this jute cord. I had in my stash, hadn't opened it yet, but it's essentially going to serve as our giant twine. Here's how they all came out, you guys. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna make a big claim. I'm pretty sure these are the best giant ornaments on the internet. I don't know, combat me in the comment section if you guys want to, but when I was doing research for giant ornaments, I'm sorry, but they did not look this cute. I'm obsessed. I cannot wait to show you guys at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned how we hang them up. We're gonna move on to our trees next, so I'll go ahead and get set up. On to our trees. So I knew that at the entryway where I have my entryway table, I wanted like 2 taller, skinny trees, but I couldn't really find what I was looking for, and I actually was in Dollar Tree and I found all of these packs of Garland, so it really inspired me to just come up with my own design. So I'm hoping this turns out good, but I'll show you guys kind of what I was thinking through for this design and as we build our tree. I do have some, how do you call this? Snow neige? I don't know, it's basically flocking spray, so don't worry about the Garland being from the dollar store or looking cheap. We're gonna hook it up a little bit later. So I do have to be honest with you guys, because I know this is technically Dollar Tree video. I did have to go rogue on the dowels themselves. I had a couple at home to use already, But if you're able to find one of those like mops or brooms with the wooden sticks, you can use that as well from the Dollar Tree. And the other thing is for my base, which I must have considered a million different things for the base, but I ultimately wanted to keep it the natural wood to kind of go with that theme we have going. These I made sure to get in the same dollar range, but they are from Michael's. They're just 7x7 wooden plaques. So this is going to serve as the base for our tree. I've already gone ahead and marked the back of it. Just needed to find the center, so I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole all the way through. We're going to be putting a screw to connect the dowel. Right, we got our nice little hole. I've already done the other one off camera. The other thing we want to do is take the bottom of the dowel. Try your best to find the center, but you want to drill a hole through this as well. It's just going to help the screw get into it a little bit better. So I'm just going to hold this upright off the floor, find the center, and drill a little bit down, not all the way. Okay, I will also make mention, the second dowel was not as tall as I wanted it to be, so we just went ahead and cut an additional piece with some wood glue. There's some tape around it right now. It's been drying for a couple of hours because I just needed this one to be like a foot taller. But we'll go ahead and drill this one too. Now to attach the dowel to the base that we have here, we're going to start off with the screw. You're going to screw in from the bottom of the, what did I just call this? Base. You're going to screw in from the bottom of the base until you see like the little tiny tip of the screw come through on this side. That way you know where to attach your dowel. All right, so see how that's coming up just a tad bit, but it's enough that it's noticeable, right? So we know where to attach that hole we made on the other dowel. Okay, so we got our little hole. So now I'm gonna just stick the screw there, and we're gonna continue screwing and holding it. So this isn't something I've done before, so I had to try it off camera for you guys to just make sure that the technique was perfect. And here is how we look. This is one of the trees. This is the before. We're not completely finished with it yet, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys what we're going for. Kind of like those tall, skinny trees. I don't really care for it to be perfectly shaped. I kind of want it to come off organic. I'm gonna set this one to the side. All in all, I'm kind of adding up how much was spent, and I think on this one we're at $6 or something like that. So one other thing I wanted to point out too, so Dollar Tree, they have two different types of garlands. So they have these garland ties and then just the actual garland itself. Go with the actual garland. I was trying to use the ties because they come in already pre-cut strips, but the little bristles on this one are significantly shorter than the ones that come on the actual garland itself. And I'm pretty sure the garland for the same dollar comes with way more square footage than what the, not square footage, comes with way more feet on it than what is actually in these packs. So I'll probably repurpose and use these for something else, but for the trees, the garlands are the way to go. Taking the loose end of your garland and a wire cutter, make sure you guys use one of these because it is a little bit difficult to break free. I kind of just went through and cut a bunch of different strips at all different sizes. All right, so we got some workable strips going on here. And this is the easiest thing ever. All that you do, because there is a wire on the inside, is I kind of wrap around one time and like hold it really sturdily. Try and get it on there as tightly as possible. Sometimes I wrap twice, sometimes 2 or 3. Don't worry about it dropping. We have a stopper for that. And then the other thing I was doing is I was kind of alternating. So this one is leaning towards that side. The next one that we do will lean it towards the opposite side. Eventually, once we add in fillers, it'll work out, but this helps us shape the tree. And then you kind of just repeat this process all the way up your pole, and you want to just play around with it. Your tree can be as full or as skinny as you want it to be. This would be such a great design. You guys ever seen, let me know in the comment section below if you guys seen a Charlie Brown Christmas, the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Literally just put a couple of these on there and I swear it would look just like it. Anyway, I digress. I'm not doing that, but you guys can. All right, I think it's time to put our stopper. And what I found to work best is just a zip tie. And I know for a fact they sell zip ties at the Dollar Tree. I had some in my stash, so that's where I just pulled from. And I know on this one at least, I had a little bit exposed at the bottom. I don't want the tree to go all the way down to the base. So kind of just figure out how high up you want your tree to start, and wherever that bottom of your tree is gonna be, put a zip tie. I think that's about good. So hold that really tightly, and then we're just gonna cut the tail end off with just a pair of scissors. Problem solved. And it's cool too because it's nice and tight, so seriously, I don't think any of this is gonna go anywhere. I so badly wanted this design to work out because it doesn't require glue or any wiring or anything like that, and it's really easy. So you guys should definitely try it. The other thing I'll say too about this long garland versus like the garland ties is because it's kind of loose and it doesn't have any plastic around it, the little bristles are super fluffy on this one, and it honestly doesn't look that bad. For it to have been $1, like if you guys wanted to keep it just like this, it really wouldn't look bad at all. All right, next up, we're just gonna take each of the branches and we're going to take the tips of them and round them up. So here's our short guy, and here's our tall guy. I'll show you guys from the side. So they're both a little bit flat backed, and it's because I intend to push mine back up against the wall, so I don't really back too much. But the front side is what we want to look good, and so far I'm loving it. Okay, next up is blocking. All right, so we have the smaller one of the two trees up in front of us, and aren't they so cute, you guys? You totally could stop at this point and leave it completely as is. You can decorate it if you want to. I may be putting lights on there, I haven't decided yet, but in terms of color, I do want to add just a little bit of the flock. I haven't used this stuff before, so. And then also says too, it's better for a few lighter coats versus one really heavy coat. So I'm gonna try to go very, very light-handed because I only want the tatus bit on here anyway. There's one. And I will say, you guys, up close, okay, let me just see if I can show this to you. This is gonna be so messy, look at my finger. Up close, it really does look frosty. This doesn't even look like it came from the freaking Dollar Tree. Okay, that's gonna need to dry, but so is the last step, so I'm just gonna do a 2-for-1. I'm gonna set this aside for 1 second. The very last thing I wanna do for my tree is I want to add a little star at the top. Okay, in the last video I also did like the little bonus twine star. In that same pack of wooden stars, I still had a bunch left, so I just spray painted one of them, or a couple of them matte black. And I'm just gonna use hot glue to put it at the top of our tree. I love it. Last but definitely not least is our DIY falling snow. So the same way that we have our ornaments hanging from the ceiling at the beginning and the entryway, I also want to have that DIY falling snow with it, so it looks like this beautiful winter wonderland. And I saw it on Pinterest, super random. I couldn't read what the post said because it was totally in like German, but I looked at it and I kind of just came up with my own idea of what I think that they might have done. So of course, all using Dollar Tree materials. I'm still keeping in line with our fish string. I have a needle and I have these small, like little white pom-poms from the dollar store. So that'll be our small snowflakes. And then honestly, cotton balls. Cotton balls also from Dollar Tree. And we're gonna be stringing them through the fish string, so when you hang them on the ceiling, they look like it's just falling snow, and they're gonna be really cute. So the name of the game with this project is to make a bunch. Depending on the space that you're gonna put it in, will obviously depend on how many you make. Again, I'm kind of using my wingspan as a measure, and on one end, you're just gonna tie your needle. I have a little bit of a bigger one, I don't know if you guys can see that. And then from here, make ourselves a little assembly line. I don't have a pattern that I'm really going for. At the bottom of your string, you want to go ahead and just make, we'll call it a triple knot, just to keep all of the snowflakes from falling off of your fish string. Okay. Now we're ready to rock and roll. So my plan is to just stick them all the way through. We can pull that one down so now we know where the end of our string is. Okay, cotton ball is kind of hard to penetrate with the needle. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm gonna do about 10 snowflakes on each of the lines in any pattern that I kind of feel like. I'm not trying to make them uniform or anything, but yeah, the cotton balls are a little hard. I got them because I wanted a variation of size. You could totally do it with just the little pom-poms if you want. I mean, obviously don't let me tell you what to do. But I do like the way that it's coming out so far with just the 2 different sizes in the pattern that I'm making. Okay. So it looks like the big guys are kind of bunching up a little bit when I hold it to kind of give you guys an idea. They're not supposed to bunch up like that, but what I think I'm gonna do is I have my hot glue gun still plugged in. I'm gonna figure out where I want them on the string. The pom-poms are staying perfectly. The pom-poms, 100% recommend. They're doing great. The cotton balls, we need a little work here. I think what I'm gonna do is just gonna do a little dab of glue underneath. If you guys are using cotton balls like me, especially the ones from the dollar store, have your glue gun close by. And also, fun fact, they do sell glue sticks for your glue gun at Dollar Tree. I'm trying to make like a little pocket with the cotton ball, and I'm putting the glue kind of in there. Okay, this is looking much, much better. So just imagine a bunch of them hanging from the ceiling. You get it? You get it? Okay, I'm gonna be making, I think I settled on like 25 of these. Time to go hang everything. I honestly had a blast making everything for today's video. It was a lot of firsts for me. I feel like I definitely haven't tried making giant ornaments before. And I'm shocked that I've never tried to make a Christmas tree, and the snow idea was just too fun not to try. I hope you guys enjoyed watching them as much as I enjoyed making them. As always, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next one.